go for the basic mathematics. Okay, so in basic mathematics, first thing we'll learn will be the trigonometric functions. First thing we'll learn with the trigonometric functions. And I think we know in class 8 or 9th, we have studied about trigonometric function like sine theta, cos theta, tan theta. So these are the trigonometric function which we are going to study. Okay. Then second thing is we will study in basic math is log functions or exponential functions, log or exponential function. I think some of you have studied about log, like log x, e power x. So these are the things which we'll study in second part, that is log functions. Third is the graphs. Okay, the graphs are also very important because in NEET exam, if you think most of the question will be from graphs itself. Directly from graph they can ask the questions. Okay, so in graph we will do something about the slope of the line, then how to draw the graph, distance versus time graph, displacement versus time graph. Like this we will do. So the graphs are also very important. The slope of the graphs, these are also very important part of the physics. Then the last part is most important, which most of you will find very difficult, is calculus, and that is basically new for you all. Okay, so basically this calculus will be divided in two parts. One is differential calculus, differential calculus, and other one is integral calculus. Integral calculus. This is relatively a new topic for you all. Okay, so we'll go in this topic in very detail. Okay, now differential calculus from name itself is that if some function is given to us, we are dividing this a function into very small part. That is differential calculus. Integral means we are summing. Hello, my voice is clear or not, sir?
So your voice is a little bit puffy, sir. Can you keep the mic a little bit?
Okay, I'll try. Okay, okay. So the I think my voice was not clear. Let me explain again. So in physics, we are going for the basic mathematics. Okay. So in basic mathematics, first part we'll study is trigonometric functions. The trigonometric functions are like sine theta, cos theta, tan theta, which we are studied in class 8 or 9. We'll go in some detail about this sine theta, cos theta, or trigonometric functions. The second part we'll study will be the logarithm function or exponential function. Okay, some of you have studied in logarithm function like log x, e power x. These are the log functions. Then we have graphs. The graphs are also very important for us. Okay, in the NEET exam, most of the question will be from graph itself. So we have to find the slope of the graph. Then we have to plot the graph like distance versus time graph, displacement versus time graph. We'll study all the things in graph itself. And the last and the most important part is calculus. Now calculus is relatively a new topic for you all. Okay, and that is very important as per the NEET exams. And this calculus will be divided into two parts. One is the differential calculus, other is the integral calculus. Differential calculus, from name itself we can understand here that if some function is given to us, we are dividing the function into very small parts. Okay, the dividing of any function into very small part will be your differential function. Integral function, we are adding all the parts which we have divided, we are adding all the parts. That is the integral calculus. Okay, we'll go in detail, don't worry about this thing. Just I'm giving you the brief intro of what we will study in the basic mathematics. Okay, fine. Now let us go to the very basic thing. What is angle? Okay, angle or theta. Now angle or theta, if you look at this circle which I have drawn here, we can see that in this circle, this O is the center of the circle. O is the center of the circle. The the radius is R here. The radius of circle is R. Now, if you look at this point O, and if I take another point here, okay, say point A, and if we fix this point O, okay, now if I move this A, this point, other end of the rod from A to B, then we say that this line has made some angle theta. Okay, this line has made some angle theta. Now, what is the magnitude of this theta? So from the figure which I have drawn here, I can make again we'll make a different figure here. Like this was your center O. This was the other point A. If I move this point A, then it will move along the circumference of the circle and it reaches point B. Okay, it moves along the circumference and it reaches point B. Then this this line makes an angle theta. Now the value of the angle theta is arc length, arc length by radius, arc length by radius. Okay, so angle theta is arc length by radius. Now what is arc length here? Arc length is the length on the circumference of the circle, that is from A to B. So we can say that arc length will be equal to AB, the length AB by radius r. That is the value of angle theta. So theta is basically arc length by radius. Here arc length is AB, which is the distance covered by this point on the circumference of the circle divided by radius r. Okay, that is angle theta. Now, what is the unit of measurement of theta? Now, basically the unit of angle theta is radian. We are measuring the angle theta in radians. That is the unit of the measurement of theta. So theta is measured in radians. But you all will say that, sir, we have studied in class 8 or 9th that theta is measured in the degree. We can also measure this angle theta in degree also. So another method is that we can express the angle theta in degree also. Angle theta in degree also. But the unit of the angle is radian itself. Now, if we are representing that theta in two ways, one is radians, other is degree, we should have the relation between radians and the degree. And the relation between radians and the degree is that pi radians is equal to 180 degree. Pi radians is equal to 180 degree. Okay, that is the relation between radians and the degree. Fine. Now, if I ask you, what will be the value of 1 radian in terms of degree? How we will find this? Again, uh, 0.2. Okay, so somebody is asking to explain the 0.2. Now, basically, 0.2 is okay. So I think this is the 0.2. So in basic mathematics, the 0.2 is logarithm function or exponential function. Log x and exponential function. We'll study in detail. Okay, don't worry about this. I'm just giving you the brief introduction of log. I'm just giving you the means introductory part, that log functions are there, exponential function are there. How we have to draw the graph of exponential function, log function. We'll do. Okay, don't worry about this. Today we are dealing with trigonometric functions. Okay, fine. So don't worry about it. I will go in all the details of all the four parts: trigonometric function, log function, graphs, and calculus. Everything I'll do. Okay, so don't worry about that. Fine. Now let's get back to this point here. Now I told you to find, like let's get back to this point. Like that angle was measured in radians. We can also express angle in degree, and the relation between radians and degree is what? Pi radians is equal to 180 degree. Okay, that was the relation between them. Now, can we find the value of 1 radian? Yes, we can find the value of 1 radian by the help of unitary method. Like the relation is given as pi radian is equal to 180 degree. So what is the value of 1 radian? With the help of unitary method, we can say that 1 radian will be equal to 180 degree by pi degree. Okay, 180 degree by pi. And what and approximately how much it will get value? The approximate value of 1 radian will come around 57 degree. Okay, so the approximate value of 1 radian will come around 57 degree. Fine. So 1 radian will be equal to 180 degree by pi, and approximate value is 57 degree. We can convert, we can also express 1 degree in terms of radians. Yes, we can also express that 1 degree in terms of radians. Again, we use the same relation that 180 degree will be equal to pi radians. Therefore, 1 degree will be equal to how much? Pi by 180 radians. Okay, and the pi by 180 radians will value will come around, the value of pi by 1 radian will come around 0.017. It will come around 0.017 radians. Okay, so we can see here 1 degree will be equal to 0.017 radians. 1 radian equal to 57 degrees. Okay, so in this way we can convert one form of degree into another form by using the relation pi radians is equal to 180 degree. Now we can also find some values also, some values of uh, some values like if I ask you what is the value of 60 degree in terms of radians, can we find this value? Okay, let us try this. Okay, you have not learned about log. I will teach you log. Okay, today I am dealing with trigonometric functions. Tomorrow I'll go for log. Okay, so don't worry about that thing. Okay, some of you have studied the log. That is fine. If you have not studied the log, I will teach you in proper way. Okay, so don't worry about that thing. Fine. Okay, now come back to this problem that find the value of 60 degree in terms of radians. Okay, now again we use the same relation here that we have already found that uh, 180 degree will be equal to pi radians. Therefore 1 degree will be equal to how much? Pi by 180, and 60 degree will be equal to how much? Pi by 180 into 60. That will come around how much? Pi by 3 radians. So we can find that 60 degree will be equal to pi by 3 radians. Similarly, if I ask you what is the value of pi by 6 radians? Pi by 6 radians in terms of degree. Again, the same relation we are using here that pi radians will be equal to 180 degree. Therefore, 1 radian will be equal to how much? 180 by pi, and the value of pi by 6 radians will be equal to 180 by pi into pi by 6, which is equal to how much? 30 degree. Okay, it is equal to 30 degree. So in this way we can find the value of radians, degree, 60 degree, pi by 6. We can find the values. Okay, there is no problem. Simply you have to remember this relation that pi radians is equal to 180 degree, and from there we can get the value of degree radius. Okay, now we have some problems here, like can you convert 30 degree to radians? Okay, take 2 or 3 minutes, try to get the answer. Okay, fine. Convert 30 degree to into radians. Okay, you should have your copy and pen with yourself, and I'll give you some problems you have to solve. Okay, fine. And if you get the answer correct, then it is good for you. Okay, or you understand here. Okay, okay, I hope most of you have got the answers. Okay, I think I have some message here. If you have any doubt, you can post there. Okay, I'll clear your doubts. Okay, I okay. Wait. I have some messages later. Okay, pi by 6. Okay, so some of them are getting the answer as pi by 6. First answer is pi by 6. Okay, very good. Fine. 2.60 degree. No. I think pi by 6 is the correct answer. Wait. Uh, pi by 6. Okay. Okay. 2.60 degree. How did you get this answer? 2.60 degree. Okay, let me explain this again. Okay, whatever answer you're getting, if you are getting the correct answer, it is good. Okay, okay, I'll explain again. Some of them are asking to explain again. Oh, I'll explain again. Okay, okay. Now, again, see, one thing you have to understand. Simply, you need to 60 degree for the next. I think 60 degrees is the next answer. Okay. Now, see, the simple thing to conversion is that simply you have to understand the same one relation which I have given in first lecture here, second slide here, that pi radians is equal to 180 degree. Okay, so use the same relation here, that pi radian equal to 180 degree, or we can say as 180 degree equal to pi radians. Okay, then you have to find the value of 1 degree. So 1 degree will be equal to how much? Pi, pi by 180. Okay, then we have to find the value of 30 degree. So 30 degree will be equal to pi by 180 into 30. This is a unitary method which we have studied in class 8 or 9, the unitary method which I am teaching you here. Okay, so from here we get the value as 6. So it would be what? Pi by 6. So answer for the first question is pi by 6. I think most of you have got this answer. Okay, pi by 6. Okay. Fine. Very good. Now, next part. Next part is convert pi by 3 into degrees. Okay, convert pi by 3 into degree. Again, use the same relation that pi radians will be equal to 180 degree. Fine. Then the value of 1 radian, which will be equal to 180 by pi. Then we have to find the value of pi by 3 radians. So simply have to multiply with 180 by pi. So we have to answer is 180 by pi into pi by 3, which is equal to how much? 60 degree. So the answer for the second part is 60 degree. The answer for the first part is how much? Pi by 6 radians. How many of you got the answers? Let me check your message. Yes. Okay. Okay, both are correct. Very good. Okay, so most of you have got the answer. If you have any problem, you can ask me now. Okay. I hope you understand the method how to convert radians to degree and degree to radians. Okay, fine. If you have any doubt, you can raise. You can tell me. Okay. Okay. Very good. Those who have got the both the answer correct, you can is correct only. Fine. Okay. Third slide. Okay. Look at the third slide here. See. That first slide was second slide. If you see that pi radian equal to 180 degree, that was the relation which we have to use every time. Okay. Then I found the value of 1 radian. So if they can ask you what is the value of 1 radian, so 1 radian will be equal to what? 180 degree by pi, which is approximately comes as 57 degrees. Okay. Now next is second part is what is the value of 1 degree in terms of radians? So value of 1 degree in terms of radians will be equal to what? 180 degree must be equal to pi radians. Therefore, 1 degree will be equal to pi by 180, which is 0.017 radians. So simply I have found the values of 1 radians in terms of degree and 1 radian in terms of degree and 1 degree in terms of radians. Okay. So approximately it will come as 57 degree. I hope you understand this. Okay. Any doubt is there, you can ask me. Give one more example. Okay. Okay, I'll give you one more problem. Okay. See. Wait. Uh, do one more problem here. Okay. Like if I ask you, what is the value of convert mm, 2 pi by 3 radians to degree. Convert 2 pi by 3 into, try to solve this problem now. See, one thing is there in simply if they are asking you in radians, you can assume radians in terms of pi itself. Okay, so don't need to find the value of the pi. So if I ask, if like in this question, if you look at this, here if I have asked you convert 30 degree to radians. Okay, so the value should comes value can come in pi by 6. Okay, you don't need to find the value of pi, means 3.14 divided by 6. You don't have to do it, simply you have to write as pi by 6 radians. Similarly, if you look at this problem, pi by 3 degree equal to how much degree, how pi by 3 radian equal to how much degree? Again the same concept, that pi by 3 will be equal to 60 degree. You don't need to find the value of this pi. Okay. Okay, so I think answer is 120 degree, which you are asked, which you are getting. Okay, let me solve this again. Okay, convert 2 pi by 3 into degree. Okay, so again we are using the same concept, that is pi radians will be equal to 180 degree. So 1 radian will be equal to how much? 180 by pi, and 2 pi by 3 radians will be equal to how much? That would be equal to 180 by pi into 2 pi by 3. Pi get cancelled out. This will go by 60. So the answer will come as 120 degree. So answer is 120 degree. And most of you have got the answer correct. Very good. Okay. So most of you have got the answer correct. 120 degree. Very good. Okay. Do one more problem here. Okay. Do one more problem. Wait. Convert 270 degree. Convert 270 degree to radians. Answer should come in pi. Okay, so don't solve the value of this pi value. Okay, just put it in terms of pi. Okay. Okay, so answer is 3 pi by 2. Okay, 1.5 pi. That is also correct. Very good. Okay, so I think most of you are getting the answer correct itself. 3 pi by 2. Okay, 3 pi by 2. 3 pi by 2. Yes, correct. So I think most of you are getting the answer. Let us solve this problem now. Okay, again 180 degree should be equal to how much radians? Pi radians. Fine. So 1 degree will be equal to how much? Pi by 180. 270 degree will be equal to how much? Pi by 180 into 270. I think it will go by 3 by 2 pi radians. So answer will be how much? 3 pi by 2 radians. Okay. So okay, very good. So most of you are getting the answer. Don't try to solve the value of this pi. Don't put the value of pi as 22 by 7. Okay, Simply you write in terms of pi itself. Okay, fine. So don't try to solve the value of pi. Fine. Okay, I think it is not 3 by 2. It should be 3 by 2 pi. Okay. So I think we have got, I think you all have understood. If any problem is there, you can look at the slides. Okay. Now, next part is the measurement of positive angle and negative angle. Now, the rule is very, very simple for positive angle and negative angle. Like, I think in class 8 or 9, we have studied about the straight line. The straight line is inclined at some angle theta. Okay. Let us draw one straight line here. This is the straight line which I am drawing from the origin like this. Fine. Now, when can it be the angle positive? Now look at this. First of all, coordinate system here. This is your x. This will be your minus x. This is your y, and this is your minus y. In coordinate system, which we know. Okay. Then if some line is there, like some straight line is there, AB. This straight line is inclined at some angle theta. Now, how to measure the theta? So theta is always taken. Okay, this is a rule. Okay, theta should always start from x-axis. Okay, the theta should always start from x-axis. And if the theta is in clockwise, anti-clockwise direction. Now, what is anti-clockwise and clockwise? I think you know. Clockwise direction means if you look at the clock, how the clock is moving. The clock will always move along like this. This is the movement of the clock. Okay, second hand of the clock. This is known as clockwise movement. Clockwise movement. Anti-clockwise movement means opposite of clock. Means this is the anti-clockwise movement, which is the opposite of clock. Anti-clockwise movement, which is the opposite of clock. No. Anti-clockwise is positive. So if you are taking theta here, theta is anti-clockwise. See, if you look at this case, first case which I have drawn here, a straight line passing from origin, then the theta, the angle should always start from x-axis. And if the angle is moving in anti-clockwise direction, see in this case, in the first case, we will see that the angle is moving in anti-clockwise, opposite of clockwise direction. The anti-clockwise direction is taken as positive. The anti-clockwise direction is taken as positive. Understand? So here the theta will be positive value. Fine. Did you get this or not? Let me check. Anti-clockwise is positive. Okay, fine. So in this case, the angle which we have taken is it will be positive angle. Now let us draw another line in the second graph. If you look at the second graph, see, if I draw the line like this, again it is AB line. Now this is your x-axis, this is your minus x, this is your plus y, minus y. Now there are two methods to find the angle of this AB. Either we can start from x-axis. We have to start from x-axis. That is the most important point. We have to start from this x-axis. Either we can move in clockwise direction, or we can move in anti-clockwise direction or clockwise direction. Let us take the first case. When I am moving from anti-clockwise direction like this. Okay. Then let us suppose the angle which is sustained with theta 1. Now, according to the rule of angle, the angle should start from x-axis. It is starting from x-axis, and if it is in an anti-clockwise direction, then theta is positive. So from here, we can write here as theta 1 will be positive. Why it is positive? Because it is moving in anti-clockwise direction. The second method to find the slope or find the angle of this AB, we can start from x-axis and we move in a clockwise direction like this. Okay, let us suppose it makes an angle theta 2. Then theta 2 is moving in clockwise direction. Clockwise means negative. Clockwise means negative. So theta 2 will be negative angle and theta 1 will be positive angle. Okay. I hope you understood or not. Fine. Okay, so if you look at the graph 2, I have drawn both the cases. One is positive angle, other is negative angle. First rule is that you have to start from x-axis. That is the most important point, that you have to start from x-axis. Okay. Now, if you are moving in anti-clockwise direction, the angle which it will form will be positive angle. So theta 1 will be positive. Why it is positive? Because we are starting from x-axis and it is moving in anti-clockwise direction. Now, we can also make angle theta 2, but in this way this angle will be in clockwise. So if it is clockwise, then theta 2 will be your negative angle. Okay, I think you have understood or not what is negative angle and what is positive angle. So first rule is that you have to start from x-axis. In both the cases we have started from x-axis. If uh, if you are moving in anti-clockwise direction, then the theta is taken as positive. If you are moving in clockwise direction, the theta is taken as negative. Okay, fine. So we can take one example here, like if theta is 60 degree. Okay, so if you take first example as 60 degree, then we can say first example, this will be 60 degree. 60 is positive or not? This is positive. Now if I say uh, to 300 degree. Okay, okay, okay. Don't confuse here. Okay, just understand here. Okay, don't confuse here. Simply understand that it is necessary to take both clockwise and anti-clockwise. No, no, no. It is not necessary. You have to take either one of the. Okay, I giving you this example, second graph example. You can take either of the both. If you take theta 1, if you are rotating in clockwise, then theta 1 will be positive. If you take if you are rotating in anti-clockwise direction, theta 1 is positive. If you are rotating in clockwise, it is negative. So you have to take either one of the case. Either you have to take theta 1 or theta 2. So if you take theta 1, the theta 1 will be positive and theta 2 will be negative. Either one of the both cases. Okay. Okay, I think you understood or not. Okay, I think all of you have understood. Fine. Okay. Now we'll discuss more about this. Just understand some. uh, Okay, okay. You don't see. Simply you understand here that if some line is there AB. Okay. If some line is there is AB, then we have to find the slope of this AB or angle theta. How much this AB is inclined towards x-axis. So for that, the theta is always measured, is always started from x-axis, and if it is moving in anti-clockwise direction like this, then the theta is positive. Okay, like in this case, if AB is the line here, and we have to start from x-axis, and if you move in x-axis, the angle which line will sustain when we move in anti-clockwise will be theta 1. That would be positive, and if we move in clockwise, theta 2, which will be negative. Okay. Yes, yes, we have to always have to start the angle from x-axis. Yes, it is correct. We have to always start from x-axis. Either we can take clockwise or anti-clockwise. Like in the second example, we have taken anti-clockwise. So if AB is inclined like this, as shown in the figure, okay. So either we can take, we have to start from x-axis. So if either we can move in anti-clockwise direction. So if we move in anti-clockwise direction, the theta 1 will be positive. Or we can start from x-axis and move in clockwise direction. So if we move in clockwise direction, then it would be negative. That's what I am trying to tell you. Okay. Yes, it should always start from x-axis. Fine. I hope you understood this point. Okay. If you have any doubt, you can ask me again. I'll come back again here. Okay. Now, now let us come to the trigonometric ratios. Okay. Now, I think in class 9th or 8th, we have studied about the trigonometric ratio. Let us do one more point. Like, if you look at this triangle, this is right angle triangle. We can mark this as point A, B, and C. Okay. This angle is theta. Fine. Now, the side which is opposite to the theta is known as opposite side or perpendicular. This is known as perpendicular. Okay, the adjacent side of theta is known as base, B, and the longest side is known as hypotenuse. The longest side is hypotenuse. Okay, now basically we have six trigonometric ratios. Trigonometric ratios. Okay, first one is sine theta. First one is how to find the angle theta. Okay, I'll tell you. Okay, don't worry about, just represent as uh, just understand the positive and negative theta. Okay, I'll tell you how to find the value of theta. Okay, like what is the value of 60 degree, 30 degree. Okay, just you have to understand that if the angle is in anti-clockwise direction, then it is positive. If it is in clockwise direction, it is negative. We'll find the value of theta. Okay, don't worry about that. Just understand the direction of the positive and negative slide. Just understand the concept of positive and negative uh, angles. Okay, okay. Now, okay, there are basically six trigonometric ratios. First one is sine theta. Now, sine theta is the ratio of opposite side by hypotenuse. Opposite side is perpendicular, so we can write this as perpendicular upon hypotenuse. H. Okay. Second is cos theta. Cos theta is adjacent side by hypotenuse. Hypotenuse. Adjacent side is B or base upon hypotenuse. Okay. And third one is tan theta. Now tan theta is the ratio of opposite side, which is perpendicular, upon base. Opposite side which is perpendicular upon base. Now tan theta can also be written as the ratio of sine theta by cos theta. So you can see here, if I put the value of sine theta, it would be perpendicular upon hypotenuse. If I put the value of cos theta, it would be base upon hypotenuse. So if you find, you'll get the value as perpendicular upon base. But tan theta is also the ratio of sine theta by cos theta. Okay. Third one is cosecant theta. Cosecant theta. Now cosecant theta is basically inverse of sine theta. It is inverse of sine theta. So its value will be what? Hypotenuse by perpendicular. So its value will be what? Hypotenuse by perpendicular. Okay. Now fourth one is secant theta. Secant theta is the inverse of cos theta, whose value will be equal to hypotenuse by base. So secant theta is the inverse of cos theta, and it is the ratio of hypotenuse by base. Okay. Then fifth one, sorry, it is cosecant is fourth. Sorry, wait, it is fourth. It is fourth. Okay, this is fourth. This is fourth. This is your fifth, and sixth one is cot theta. Now cot theta is the inverse of tan theta, 1 by tan theta, or we can also write this as cos theta by sine theta, or it can also be written as base upon perpendicular. Okay, so basically there are six trigonometric functions: sine theta, cos theta, tan theta, cosecant theta, secant theta, and cot theta. Okay, where trigonometric help in physics? Oh, it will be everywhere. It will be used. Okay, so don't worry about that thing. Fine. Everywhere, whatever I'm teaching you will be useful in your subject. That is why I'm teaching you. Okay, so don't think about like this. Fine. So I think you have understood. If you want to copy, you can copy all the trigonometric ratios. Okay, so first one is sine theta, which is perpendicular upon hypotenuse. Cos theta is base upon hypotenuse. Okay, fine. So if you want to copy, you can copy now. Cot theta is cot. No, it is not cot x theta. It is cos theta by sine theta. It is inverse of tan theta, na? So it should be cos theta by sine theta, and the value of cot theta will be base upon perpendicular. Okay, fine. Okay, understand this point or not? Fine. If you want to copy, you can copy it now. Okay. Now let's get back to the next point. There are some standard values. Okay, there are some standard values. Means standard values of like if theta is 0 degree, if theta is 30 degree, if theta is 45 degree, if theta is 60 degree and 90 degree. Okay, there are some standard value of sine theta, cos theta and tan theta. So let us come first sine theta. The value of sine 0 is 0. The value of sine 30 is half. The value of sine 45 is 1 by root 2. The value of sine 60 is root 3 by 2. And the value of sine 90 is 1. Okay. So these are the standard value which you have to remember. Okay. Sine 0 will be 0. Sine 30 will be half. Sine 45 degree will be 1 by root 2. Sine 60 degree will be root 3 by 2. And sine 90 will be equal to 1. Then cos theta. The value of cos 0 is 1. The value of cos 30 is root 3 by 2. The value of 45 degrees is 1 by root 2. The value of 60 degrees is half. And the value of cos 90 is 0. Okay. So if you have to remember this uh, formula, you can say that you just write reverse of sine theta from 90 to 0 degree. Okay. Then tan theta. Now tan theta is the ratio of sine theta by cos theta. So if you divide sine 0, means if you have to find the value of tan 0, it is 0 by 1, which is 0. Then it is what? It would be 1 by root 3, then 1, then it would be what? Root 3, and this 1 by 0 is infinity or not defined. So we write as infinity here. Okay, fine. Okay, so we have some standard value of sine 0, 0, sine 30 degree half, sine 45 degree 1 by root 2, sine 60 is root 3 by 2, sine 90 is 1, cos theta, cos 0 is 1, cos 30 is root 3 by 2, cos 45 is 1 by root 2, then cos 60 is half, cos 90 will be 0, tan theta is 0, tan 0 is 0, tan 30 is 1 by root 3, tan 45 is 1, tan 60 degree is root 3, and tan 90 is not defined. Okay, so if you want, you can make a note of this. See, difference between infinity and not defined. Basically, it is infinity. We cannot find the value of infinity, and not defined is also same thing. So infinity and not defined are almost same thing only. Fine. My video and audio is not synchronized. If you have any problem in your audio, you tell me. I'll speak loudly more. Okay. So I think you can make a note of here. Okay. Okay. So I think you have taken the notes. Okay. So you have to remember all the values here. Fine. You have to all the values of sine 0, sine. Okay. This value you have to remember. Fine. Now next part which I'm going to teach is bit of difficult. Okay. So you have to understand it properly. Fine. Now when the angle is more than 90 degree, now we have found the value of okay, I am that what I'm doing. value of sine 180 that I will do. Okay. So when the angle is more than 90 degree, now simply if you look at this table here, we have the value of 0 degree, 30 degree, 45 degree, 60 degree, and 90 degree. Okay. But we don't have the value of sine 180, cos 180, 130, that we don't have. So we have when the angle is more than 90 degree, then how we have to find? First of all, you have to understand the concept here, the graph which I have drawn here. Okay. Again, look at this graph. This will be your x-axis, minus x, y, and minus y. That we know. Okay. Now this portion of the graph is known as first quadrant. First quadrant. Okay. This portion is known as second quadrant. Second quadrant. This is your third quadrant. And this is your fourth quadrant. Okay. Okay, first I'm telling you this, just have to understand all the point, then I'll explain you how we have to find. Okay. Now, if you think of this point, I can say like in first quadrant, the value of theta will lie from 0 degree to 90 degree. Am I correct or not? This is your 0 degree, this is your 90 degree, which means in first quadrant the theta will lie between 0 to 90 degree, or we can also write in terms of radians also. In terms of radians, then theta will lie from 0 radians to pi by 2 radians. Okay, 0 radians to pi by 2 radians. Okay, so in first quadrant, the theta will lie from 0 degree to 90 degree, or 0 radian to pi by 2 radian. Okay, second quadrant. Second quadrant. In second quadrant, the theta will lie from 90 degree to 180 degree. Okay, or we can say as pi by 2 radians to pi radians. Okay, so the theta will lie from 0 90 to 180. So if you look at this graph, this is your 0 degree, this is your 90 degree. From 90 to 180, the second quadrant will lie. Okay, now third quadrant, if you can guess, the third quadrant, the third quadrant, the theta will lie from 180 degree to 270 degree, or pi radians to 2 pi by 3 radians. Okay, pi radians to 2 pi by 3, sorry, 2 pi by 3 pi, sorry, wait, it should be pi radians to 3 by 2 pi radians. Okay, 3 pi by 2 radians. And the fourth quadrant, the theta will lie from 270 degree to 360 degree, or 3 pi by 2 radians to 2 pi radians. Okay. Very good. Okay. So we can look at this. The first quadrant, the angle will lie from 0 to 90, then 90 to 180, 180 to 270, 270 to 360 degree. Okay. Now you have to remember one rule here, that in first quadrant, all trigonometric function, all trigonometric function are positive, are positive. All trigonometric function. What all trigonometric function we have studied? That is sine theta, cos theta, tan theta, cosecant theta, cot theta. All are positive here. Okay, all trigonometric functions are positive. Okay, spelling is wrong here, so you understand here is trigonometric functions. Okay, so all trigonometric functions are positive in the first quadrant. Okay, in second quadrant, sine theta and cosecant theta are only positive, are only positive. So only two functions are positive here, that is sine theta and cosecant theta. Okay, that is only positive in second quadrant. Now third one, in third quadrant, tan theta, third quadrant, the tan theta or cot theta are only positive. And in the fourth quadrant, cos theta and secant theta or secant theta are positive. That is the rule which you have to remember here, that we have divided the graph into four quadrant: first, second, third, and fourth. In first quadrant, all the trigonometric functions are positive. In second, only sine function and cosecant theta are positive. In third, tan theta and cot theta is positive. In fourth, cos theta and secant theta is positive. That is what you have to remember here. Now I gave you the values of theta, which is lying from 90 to theta is lying from 90 degree to first, second, third, and fourth quadrant. Okay. Now, to find the value of sine theta when theta is more than 90 degree, rule number one. Rule one is to identify the quadrant. Identify the quadrant in which theta lies. Theta lies. Like, if I give you one example here, if theta is 120 degree, where it should lie? 120 degree means it should lie in which quadrant? Second quadrant. It should lie in second quadrant. Very good. Okay. Okay. Now, if I ask you, like, if theta is 200 degree, 200 degree means in which quadrant it should lie? First, second, third, or fourth? It should lie in third quadrant. Third quadrant. If theta is say 300 degree, then it should lie in which quadrant? First, second, third, or fourth? It should lie in fourth quadrant. Okay. So first of all, you have to identify. First of all, we have to identify in which quadrant the theta is lying. Okay. So most of you have got the answer. Some are saying fourth, third. Where is correct? Okay. Fine. Okay. So first rule is that. Okay. I will show the slide one. Okay. Don't worry. Fine. Now rule number two. Now rule number two. You have to understand this properly. Okay. Rule two is that if an angle is equal to n pi plus minus theta, where n is integer. Okay, where n is integer. Okay, fine. Now integer means what? N value can be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so if angle is n pi plus theta, where n is the integer, then then put n pi plus minus theta as theta itself. Okay, as theta itself, without changing the trigonometric function. Okay, without changing the trigonometric function, just put as theta. One example I can take as if n is equal to 1, then it would be what? Angle will be equal to pi plus minus theta. So if it is pi plus minus theta, it should be theta itself. Okay, fine. Understand. Rule number two is that if angle is n pi plus minus theta, where n is the integer, then put n pi plus minus theta as theta itself. Okay. So example we have taken here as if n is equal to 1, the angle is equal to pi plus minus theta. So just put as theta itself. Okay, don't confuse here. I'll just explain everything, then you will have a better understanding. Okay, fine. Rule 2, rule 3. If angle is equal to 2n plus 1 pi by 2 plus theta. If angle is 2n plus 1 pi by 2 plus theta, then this angle 2n plus 1 by 2 pi plus minus theta is equal to complementary functions, complementary trigonometric function of angle theta. We have to replace by complementary trigonometric function of angle theta. Okay. That plus and minus will do. Okay, plus and minus I'll explain. Okay, just understand the rule. Okay, I'll explain again. Okay, don't worry about that thing. Fine, understand. So basically we have taken 4 rule. When I will give you the example, you will have the better understanding. Okay, don't worry about that one. Fine. Like let us take the example, then you have a better understanding of this. Fine. Third rule. Okay, third rule is that complementary function. Okay, if angle is 2n plus 1 pi by 2 plus minus theta, then this angle is replaced by complementary trigonometric function angle of theta. Now what are complementary functions? Now complementary functions are the complementary function of sine theta is cos. The complementary function of sine is cos, and complementary function of tan is cot. Okay, the complementary function of sine is okay. The complementary function of sine is cos, and tan is cot. Okay, understand? The complementary function of sine is cos and tan is cot. Okay, you may make a note of this, then I'll explain more. Okay, so these are the 3 rules. If I give you one example, you will have a better understanding. Just think of this rule and just look at this. Okay, if you have any doubt, you can ask me. Secant and cosecant will be your complementary function. Yes, correct. Okay, so we have a sine for cos, tan is cot, and then secant and cosecant will be your complementary function. Okay, let us take one example here. Have you all copied? Okay, see, rule number 3, I know you will have a problem. I'll give you one example, then you will understand this, how I'm using this rule. Okay, fine. I think you have all you have copied or not. Okay, if you have copied, let us take one example here. Okay, like very simple example I'm taking here. Like if somebody asks, what is the value of sine 120 degree? Okay, now to find the value of sine 120 degree, first of all we have to see that angle is more than 90 degree. Okay, so first rule is that you have to go we have to first locate which quadrant this angle is lying. So if you look at this, it is lying in which quadrant? Second quadrant, 90 to 180 degree. Okay, very good. Okay, 120 degree means it is lying in which? It is lying in second quadrant. Now come back to this graph here. Okay, if you look at this graph, in first quadrant, all trigonometric functions are positive. In second quadrant, only sine and cosecant functions are positive, which means what? If I locate this angle here, this angle would be in second quadrant, and in second quadrant, sine functions are positive or not? It is positive. So simply we have to put here as plus. Understand why I'm putting plus here? because 120 degree is in the second quadrant. The 120 degree is in second quadrant. In second quadrant, sign should be positive, so I'm putting here as plus sign here. Okay, fine. Now second thing, then we have to write here as sine. We can write 120 degree as what? Sine of 90 plus 30 degree. Sine of 90 plus 30 degree. It is correct or not? Can we write this as sine of 90 plus 30 degree? Yes, we can write this. Now come back to rule number 2 or rule number 3. Okay. When it come negative. Okay, I'll tell you. Okay, don't just think what I'm explaining. You just understand that. I'll tell you about negative also. Okay, don't worry about anything. Okay. So we can write sine 120 as sine of 90 plus 30 degree. Correct na? Sine of 90 plus 30. Fine. Now, if you look at the rule number 3 here, if the angle is 2n plus 1 pi by 2 plus minus theta. So 90 is what? Pi by 2. 90 value is what? Pi by 2. Can we write this as what? Plus sine of pi plus 30 degree or not? So 30 degree will be your theta. Sorry, pi by 2. Sine of pi by 2 plus 30, where 30 degree will be your theta or not? Correct now. So if you look at the rule number 2 here, rule number 2 says that, rule number 3 says that if angle is 2n plus 1 pi by 2 plus theta. Okay, fine. So if you look at this, if I put n equal to 1, if I put n equal to 1, this angle will become what? This angle will become pi by 2 plus pi by 2 plus minus theta. No, we cannot write sine 60 plus sine 60. That is wrong. Okay, don't write sine 60 plus sine 60. Fine. No, it is not 90 is pi by 2, not pi. Okay, it is pi by 2 only, not pi. Fine. I have made a mistake there. See, 90 is pi by 2. Okay, correct now. Okay, see. Okay, wait, I'll tell you. See, see. Uh, okay, I'll explain again. Okay, just to understand properly. Then you raise your some doubts. Okay. Sine 120. Okay, first of all, you have to locate 120 degree. 120 degree will be located in which quadrant? Second quadrant, which we have discussed. It is lying between 90 to 180 degree. Now in second quadrant, what is positive? Sine functions are positive. So if it is positive, can we write this as plus sine? Sine 90 plus 30 degree. Can we write this as sine 90 plus 30? Because 120 can be written as what? 90 plus 30. Okay. So it would be what? Plus sine 90 plus 30. 90 value in terms of written is pi by 2 plus 30 degree. Okay, fine. Now if you look at the rule number 2 here, if n is equal to 1, then angle become pi by 2, then angle become pi by 2 plus minus theta or not. Fine. Now if it follows rule number 2, which means if angle is pi by 2 plus minus theta, then the sine is replaced by its complementary function. The sine is replaced by its complementary function, and that the complementary function of sine is what? Cos theta. Now theta is here how much? 30 degree. So it should be cos 30. Fine. Now cos 30 value is how much? As we have discussed in the chart there, cos 30 value is how much? Root 3 by 2. So we can say here the value of cos 30 will be what? Root 3 by 2. Okay, fine. Okay, I think most of you are having doubt in rule number 3. So don't confuse in rule number 3. Okay, rule number 3 says that if angle is 2n plus 1 pi by 2 plus minus theta, where n is the integer. I have taken very simple case, n equal to 1. So if n is equal to 1, then it becomes pi by 2 plus minus theta. Okay, it becomes what? Pi by 2 plus minus theta. If the angle is pi by 2 plus minus theta, then we have to replace this by complementary function of angle theta. And the complementary function in this example, the complementary of sine is cos. So it will replace by cos, and this theta will be as written as theta here. So root 3 by 2. Okay. Now we can also write sine 120 as second method for finding this sine 120. Second method is that, first of all, sine 120, again the same case, we have to locate 120 degree. 120 degree will be in second quadrant. In second quadrant, sine is positive, so I write positive here. Then can we write sine 120 as sine of 180 degree minus 60 degree? Okay, sine of 180 minus 60 degree is what? Sine of 2 pi minus 60. Sorry, pi, not 2 pi, it is pi. Okay, it is pi minus 60 degree. Okay, now when it is pi minus 60 degree, then we can follow rule number 1. If n is equal to 1, then it is pi plus minus theta. Then simply you have to write theta. We don't have to write the complementary function. Then simply we can write here as sine 1 pi minus 60 as equal to sine 60 degree. So if it is rule number 2, then simply you have to use the same trigonometry function, that is sine as sine. Okay, fine. And what is the value of sine 60? Root 3 by 2. So the value of sine 120 will be root 3 by 2. Okay. If we take n equal to 1, it becomes 3 pi by 2. If n equal to 1, 3 pi by 2. If it is 0, it is pi by 2. Sorry. Okay, correct. So it should be here one mistake I have done. If it is 0 here. Okay. In rule number 2, if n equal to 0, then angle is pi by 2. Okay. Okay. I'll take one more example. Okay. Wait. I'll take one more example. Then you have understanding there. I'll take one more example. Okay. Fine. Like, see, don't worry about one more example I'll take. Like value of cos of 120 degree. Okay, same, but I have taken cos here. Now again, first we have to do what? We have to locate 120 degree. 120 degree will be in which quadrant? Second quadrant. The 120 degree will be in second quadrant. In second quadrant, only sine functions are positive. But here in this example, we have cos function. We have a cos function, which means we have to write this as negative first of all. Why we are writing negative? Because in second quadrant, only sine functions are positive. Rest are negative. So cos will be negative here. So first, then I'll put cos minus here. Then I write cos 120 is written as 90 plus 30 degree. Okay, if it is 90 plus 30 degree, it will follow rule number 3. When n equal to 0, the angle is pi by 2 plus minus theta. So we can write this as what? We can write this particular thing as minus cos of pi by 2 plus 30 degree or not? Can we write this as pi by 2 plus minus 30 degree? Pi by 2 plus 30 degree, it follows rule number 2. If it is rule number 3, if it is rule number 3, then the cos is replaced by its complementary function. The cos is replaced by its complementary function. And what is the complementary function of cos? Sine. So minus sine of 30 degree. Minus sine 30 degrees minus half. Okay. The second method of this is cos 120. Again, locate 120 degree in second quadrant. In second quadrant, cos is negative. So negative cos of 180 degree minus 60 degree. Correct. Now Now cos 180 minus 60 degree means it will follow which rule? Rule number 2, when it is pi plus minus theta. Okay, then the cos will remain cos here. So the answer will come as minus cos of 60 degree. Minus cos of 60 degree is half, so minus half. Okay, fine. I hope you understood or not. Everyone understood or not? We'll do more practice on this. Just look at the what all rule I have given to you. Just make a note and then try to understand what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, fine. Okay, one more example I'll give. Second method. Okay, so if you look at the second method here, see, second method is, see, either we can write 120 as 90 plus 30, or we can also write as 180 minus 60 degree. Both matter, both we can write now, because 180 minus 60 degree is how much? 120. 90 plus 30 is also 120. We can write this as now or not. So if it is 180 minus 60 degree, then it will be what? It will be equal to cos of 2 pi minus 6, sorry, pi minus 60 degree. Okay, pi minus 60 degree means it will follow which rule? Rule number 2. If it is rule number 2, simply you have to replace pi plus minus theta as theta with the same trigonometric function. Okay, so same trigonometric function means cos, then 60 degree minus of that. Okay, no, we cannot write 120 as 60 plus 60. Okay, first of all, the rule 2 and rule 3 which I have given to you, it is valid for 90, 180, 270 degree. Okay, so you don't need to write 60 plus 60. Okay, that will be wrong. Fine, so you have to write as either pi plus 60 or 2 pi plus 60, or it should be in a form of either n pi plus theta, n pi plus minus theta, or it should be in a form of 2n plus 1 pi by 2 plus minus theta. Then only we can use this conversion here. Okay, fine. Okay. So I think we can end our class now. Fine. So on Wednesday, I'll do more practice on this problem. Okay. So just revise all the things, then we'll practice more problems. Okay. Fine. Any doubt is there, you can message now. First slide. Okay. You can see the first slide here. So first slide is simply, we'll do more problem in the next session. Okay. Okay. Any problem is there, you can ask now. Anywhere, any doubt? We'll do more problems based on this when angle is more than 90 degree. We should not use 60 plus 60 degree. Okay. Calculus I will do. Okay. I'll do everything. Just don't worry about this. Today I'll go for trigonometric. Next class also I will do trigonometric problems only. Second slide. Wow, second slide. You can see second slide is not very difficult. Okay. 13th. 13th is simple, that if the angle is lying between, no, complete. See, if you are getting confused, simply you can understand, like if it is 90, when angle is 90 plus minus theta, then you have to write complementary function. If it is 180, then you have to write the same function. Okay. If it is 270, then you have to write the complementary function. When it is 360 degree, you have to write the same function itself. Okay. No, don't write 90 plus 90. Okay. Sine 180 is basically what? Sine 180 will be 90 plus 90 you can write. Okay. So like if question is sine 180, sine 180 is 90 plus 90. Now 90 plus 90 means what? Sine is a complementary function of sine is cos. So cos 90. Cos 90 value is how much? 0. So answer will be 0. Okay, the log function we'll do in the next class. Okay, fine. So let us end this session now. Any doubt is there, you can message to a Seeker Education. Okay, I'll clear all the doubts. Okay.